You feel it, don't you? That subtle, creeping exhaustion after talking to certain people. That confusing fog of guilt when you've done nothing wrong. That knot of anxiety in your stomach when someone goes silent. You are not going crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. You are at war. But this is not a war of fists or of words. It is a war of the mind. And you have been fighting it completely unarmed. There are people in your life, your partner, your boss, your friend, your family member, who have mastered the oldest and most effective tool of control known to man. They don't use force. They don't need to. They use your own emotions against you. They are emotional architects, and they have built a prison for your mind, brick by brick, with your own feelings. They use guilt to make you surrender. They use silence to make you panic. They use praise to make you compliant. They whisper, "You've changed," and watch you scramble back into the cage of who you used to be. They don't command you. They make you willingly obey. This is the art of emotional manipulation. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli understood this game better than anyone. He knew that true power is not about shouting the loudest. It's about understanding the secret levers of the human heart. It's about controlling the emotional battlefield. Today, the battle ends. By the end of this video, you will not only see the invisible strings they use to control you, you will learn how to cut them. You will learn how to stand in the center of their emotional storm and feel nothing but a calm, cold clarity. You will transform from the puppet into the one who sees the puppeteer. This is not about becoming heartless. This is about refusing to let your heart be weaponized against you. Now, before we begin your liberation, state your intention. Drop this in the comments below. My mind is a fortress. Let's name this invisible enemy. Let's call it what it is. The emotional marionette, a masterclass in psychological warfare. This is the state you live in. A puppet dancing on the strings of someone else's emotional agenda. You think you are making your own choices, but your choices are being dictated by the fear of their disappointment, the craving for their approval, or the dread of their anger. The manipulator understands a fundamental truth you have been taught to ignore. Logic can be argued with. Emotions are absolute. They don't try to win a logical debate with you. That's amateur hour. Instead, they bypass your rational mind entirely and inject their poison directly into your emotional core. They create a feeling inside you, guilt, fear, obligation, insecurity, and that feeling becomes your new reality. You then act based on that feeling, believing you are acting of your own free will. The fair person, the good person, is the perfect victim for this kind of warfare. Your empathy becomes a vulnerability. Your desire for harmony becomes a weakness. Your loyalty becomes a chain. The weak person gets pulled into the manipulator's emotional vortex. When the manipulator is sad, you feel responsible for their happiness. When they are angry, you feel responsible for their peace. You become a slave to their emotional state. The powerful person stands outside the storm. They observe the manipulator's emotions not as a command, but as a tactic. They see the performance for what it is, a strategic move on the chessboard of power, and they refuse to play their assigned role. Machiavelli once wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that a deceitful person will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived." The manipulator creates your present necessity. The desperate need to end the silent treatment. The urgent need to alleviate your guilt. The overwhelming need to regain their approval. And you, in your simplicity, obey. But the simplicity ends today. Today, you learn the deceiver's playbook. Here are the 7 deadliest weapons from the manipulator's arsenal, and the Machiavellian counter-strategy to render each one useless. Weapon number 1, the currency of guilt. This is the manipulator's favorite tool. It is subtle, devastatingly effective, and disguised as your own conscience. The anatomy of the attack. The attack never feels like an attack. It feels like a sad, disappointing observation. They won't say, "Do this for me." They will say, "It's fine, I'll just do it myself. I'm used to it." They won't say, "You hurt me." They will sigh and say, "I guess I just expected more from you." They use phrases like, "Don't worry about me. After all I've done for you. I must have done something to deserve this." Each phrase is a carefully crafted emotional bomb. It is designed to make their disappointment your responsibility. They hand you a package of their negative feelings, and you, being a good person, willingly accept it. The psychological mechanism. This works because most people are terrified of being seen as selfish or ungrateful. The manipulator knows this. They are exploiting your desire to be a good person. Guilt is a powerful social tool for enforcing compliance. By making you feel you have failed a moral or social duty, they create an emotional debt inside you. And you, desperate to relieve the discomfort of that debt, will do almost anything to fix it. The fair person's mistake. The moment you feel that pang of guilt, you are hooked. You immediately rush to apologize. You defend yourself, explaining your intentions. "That's not what I meant. I was just busy." You overcompensate, offering to do even more than they originally wanted, just to prove you are not the bad person they have implied you are. You have fallen perfectly into their trap. The entire interaction is now centered around managing their feelings and proving your goodness. They have won without ever making a direct demand. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist understands that guilt is a gift you can refuse to accept. When the manipulator hands you the package of guilt, you do not open it. You hand it back. This is done not with anger, but with cold, rational detachment. Step 1. Recognize the tactic. The moment you hear those trigger phrases, a red flag goes up in your mind. You name the game. This is a guilt trip. Step 2. Disengage from the emotion. Do not absorb their disappointment. Observe it, as if you were a scientist watching a specimen. Their feelings are their feelings. They are not your responsibility. Step 3. Respond to the logic, not the emotion. Ignore the emotional subtext entirely. If they say, "It's fine, I'll do it myself," the strategist's reply is not, "No, I'm so sorry, let me." The strategist's reply is a calm, "Okay." Or, "Let me know if you need help with the logistics." If they say, "After all I've done for you," the strategist does not list all the things they've done in return. They respond, "What specifically are you referring to?" This forces them to make their covert accusation overt, which they rarely want to do. If they say, "I guess I just expected more from you," the strategist does not ask, "What did I do wrong?" They say, "It's important to have realistic expectations." You are refusing to accept the emotional burden. You are treating their statement as a piece of data, not as a verdict on your character. This will drive a manipulator insane. They are throwing emotional fire at you, and you are acting as if you feel no heat. They will likely escalate, trying harder to make you feel guilty. Do not engage. Maintain your calm, rational frame. As Machiavelli might advise, a prince cannot be burdened by the unearned emotional debts of others. Your resources, emotional and physical, are for building your empire, not for servicing the imagined grievances of those who wish to control you. Weapon number 2. The tyranny of silence. Few tactics are as powerful or as unnerving as the strategic withdrawal of communication. The silent treatment is psychological torture, refined. The anatomy of the attack. They won't get angry. They won't yell. They'll get quiet. Dangerously quiet. The calls stop. The texts go unanswered, or are met with one-word replies. An invisible wall of ice descends, and you are on the wrong side of it. There is no explanation. There is only a suffocating void. The psychological mechanism. Humans are social creatures. Our brains are wired to fear ostracism and abandonment. The silent treatment triggers this primal fear. The uncertainty is the worst part. Your mind goes into overdrive, desperate to solve the mystery. What did I do? Are they angry? Is this the end? You will replay every recent interaction, searching for your mistake. You become your own interrogator. The silence creates a vacuum, and your anxiety rushes in to fill it. The manipulator knows this. They are waiting for you to break. They are waiting for you to crawl back, desperate for any crumb of connection, ready to apologize for a crime you don't even know you committed. The fair person's mistake. The average person cannot tolerate the tension. They chase. They send a barrage of texts. Are you okay? Did I do something? Please just talk to me. They call repeatedly. They apologize profusely for unknown sins. They offer to do anything to make the silence stop. By doing this, you have just taught them the most valuable lesson possible. My silence is your kryptonite. I can get anything I want from you by simply withdrawing my attention. You have handed them the keys to your psychological kingdom. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist understands that the only way to defeat the tyranny of silence is to become even more comfortable in the quiet than your opponent. You must not just endure the silence, you must embrace it. Step 1. Recognize the tactic. Identify it immediately. This is the silent treatment. It is a power move. Step 2. Do not chase. This is the most critical step. Under no circumstances do you pursue them. Do not text. Do not call. Do not ask mutual friends what's going on. Step 3. Mirror their silence. You become a perfect reflection of their behavior. They have withdrawn. You withdraw. They have created a void. You get comfortable in that void. Step 4. Live your life and make it visible. This is the masterstroke. Not only do you not chase them, you proceed to have a fantastic life without them. You focus on your work, your hobbies. You see your friends. If you use social media, you continue to post about your positive experiences. You are sending a powerful, unspoken message. My emotional state is not dependent on your communication. My world does not stop when you stop talking to me. In fact, it continues on quite pleasantly. This completely reverses the power dynamic. The manipulator expected you to be in a state of anxious panic. Instead, you seem happy, peaceful, and unbothered. Now, they become anxious. Is my tactic not working? Do they not care about me? Am I losing control? The silence, which was their weapon, now becomes their prison. They are the ones sitting in the quiet, wondering what you are doing, wondering why you aren't chasing them. Inevitably, they are the ones who will have to break the silence. And when they do, they will come back with far less power than when they left. Machiavelli noted that a prince must be prepared for his allies to turn on him. He must be self-reliant. In this context, you must be so emotionally self-reliant that the withdrawal of any single person cannot destabilize your throne. Weapon number 3, the victim's gambit. This is one of the most insidious forms of manipulation, because it uses your own empathy as a weapon against you. The manipulator presents themselves as the weak, wounded party, inducing you to drop your guard and give them power. The anatomy of the attack. They will never appear strong or demanding. They will appear broken. They will tell you carefully edited stories of past traumas, of how everyone has let them down, of how they are just too sensitive for this cruel world. They create a narrative in which they are the perpetual victim, and life is the perpetual aggressor. When a conflict arises between you, they will immediately retreat into this victim persona. I can't believe you're raising your voice at me. You know how sensitive I am to conflict. I guess I'm just not good enough for you. It's always my fault, isn't it? They position your legitimate concerns as acts of aggression. Your boundaries become evidence of your cruelty. Your standards become proof that you are just like everyone else who has hurt them. The psychological mechanism. This tactic hijacks the natural human instinct to protect the vulnerable. When you see someone in pain, your instinct is to comfort them, not to challenge them. The victim's gambit uses this to shut down all legitimate criticism. How can you be angry at someone who is already so broken? How can you hold them accountable when they are already a victim? You can't. You are placed in a psychological checkmate. To continue pressing your point would make you the bully. So, you back down. The fair person's mistake. The empathetic person immediately falls for this. They abandon their own valid point and rush to comfort the manipulator. No, that's not what I meant. You're not the problem. They start apologizing for making the victim feel bad. They end up feeling guilty for simply trying to address a real issue. The original problem is never solved. Instead, the manipulator has successfully trained you that bringing up any issue will result in them being hurt and you being cast as the villain. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist learns to distinguish between genuine vulnerability and strategic victimhood. They can have empathy for someone's past pain without allowing it to be used as a get-out-of-jail-free card for present bad behavior. Step 1. Acknowledge the emotion, but not the blame. You validate their feeling without accepting responsibility for it. A powerful phrase is, "I can see that my words have upset you, and that was not my intention." Notice, you are not apologizing for your words. You are acknowledging their reaction. Step 2. Gently recenter the conversation on the facts. You must steer the conversation away from the black hole of their feelings and back to the objective issue at hand. I understand this is difficult to hear, but the issue of the missed deadline still needs to be addressed. I hear that you feel hurt, but we need to talk about the comment you made in the meeting. Step 3. Refuse to accept the role of the aggressor. If they insist you are attacking them, you calmly disagree with their characterization. This is not an attack. This is a conversation between two adults about a real issue. I am not raising my voice, and I am not trying to hurt you. This requires immense emotional discipline. You must be a rock of rationality while they are a storm of emotion. They are trying to flood the battlefield with feelings to make rational thought impossible. You must remain on high ground. Machiavelli understood that appearances are a key tool of power. The victim's gambit is a performance. The manipulator is appearing weak to gain a strategic advantage. The strategist sees through the performance to the intent behind it. Do not be fooled by the actor's tears. Judge them by the actions that caused the conflict in the first place. Weapon number 4, the gaslight offensive. This is perhaps the most psychologically damaging tactic of all. It is a direct assault on your perception of reality. The goal of the gaslighter is to make you doubt your own mind, your own memory, and your own sanity. The anatomy of the attack. The gaslighter will systematically deny reality. They will tell you that things you saw happen never happened. They will claim that things they said were never said. They will twist your words and replay them back to you in a distorted form. Classic gaslighting phrases include, "You're being crazy," "You're overreacting," "That's not how it happened at all," "You're remembering it wrong," "I was just joking," "Why are you so sensitive?" They will question your emotional stability. They will tell you that your valid emotional reactions are proof that something is wrong with you. Over time, this is like a slow-acting poison. It erodes your confidence in yourself. You begin to constantly second-guess your own perceptions. You start thinking, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I am remembering it wrong. Once they have you in this state of self-doubt, you become completely dependent on their version of reality. You have become their prisoner. The psychological mechanism. Our sense of self is deeply tied to our trust in our own perceptions. When someone relentlessly attacks that trust, it creates a profound sense of disorientation and anxiety. The gaslighter creates a reality bubble where their version of events is the only one that is sane. To get relief from the cognitive dissonance and anxiety, the victim often gives in and accepts the manipulator's reality, just to restore a sense of stability, even if it's a false one. The fair person's mistake. The average person tries to argue with a gaslighter using facts and evidence. This is a fatal error. You cannot win an argument with someone who does not share your reality. You will present a clear memory, and they will deny it. You will show them a text message, and they will say you are misinterpreting it. You will spend hours, days, weeks, caught in a circular, maddening debate, trying to prove that you are sane. The longer you argue, the more you legitimize their frame. The very act of defending your sanity is proof to them, and eventually, to you, that it is in question. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist understands that you can never win the gaslighter's game. So, you don't play. The counter-move is not to win the argument. It is to disengage from their reality entirely. Step 1. The anchor of truth. You must have an unshakable anchor in your own perception. This may involve writing things down immediately after they happen. At 10:15 a.m., he said X. This written record is not for them. It is for you. It is your anchor to reality when they try to make you drift. Step 2. Do not argue. State. When they deny reality, you do not engage in a debate. You make a single, calm statement of your own reality. Them, I never said that. You, that is not how I remember it. Them, you're being too sensitive. You, I trust my emotional response. Them, you're crazy. You, I'm not going to discuss my sanity with you. Step 3. Disengage and create space. This is the most important part. The gaslighter's power comes from trapping you in their distorted reality. You must leave. This may mean literally walking out of the room. This conversation is not productive. I am finished with it. It may mean ending a phone call. It may mean creating significant emotional and physical distance from this person. The ultimate power move against a gaslighter is to trust yourself more than you trust them. It is to believe the evidence of your own mind over the words of a manipulator. This requires immense inner strength. As Machiavelli might say, a prince must trust his own intelligence reports above all else. Your own senses, your own memory, these are your intelligence reports from the battlefield of life. To allow an enemy to convince you that your reports are false is to surrender your kingdom without a fight. Your mind is your throne. Do not let a charlatan convince you it is a madhouse. Weapon number 5. The shifting battlefield, moving the goalposts. This is a tactic designed to keep you in a perpetual state of striving, always trying to earn an approval that will never be given. It is a game you are guaranteed to lose. The anatomy of the attack. The manipulator sets a clear target for you. If you just do X, then I'll be happy. If you can achieve Y, you will have my respect. You, being a dedicated and fair person, work tirelessly to hit that target. You sacrifice, you strive, you succeed. You come to them, proud of your achievement, ready for the promised approval. And then, the battlefield shifts. Oh, you did X. That's good, but you didn't do it the right way. You achieved Y, but what about Z? Z is what really matters. I know I said that before, but I've been thinking, and actually, the real issue is the goalposts have moved. Your victory is dismissed, and a new, more difficult target is set. No matter what you do, it is never enough. The psychological mechanism. This tactic preys on the human need for completion and validation. It keeps you hooked by always dangling the promise of enough just out of reach. It establishes a clear power hierarchy. They are the judge, and you are the eternal contestant, always performing, never winning. It slowly drains your confidence and energy, making you feel perpetually inadequate. You start to believe that you are the problem, that you are just not good enough to ever please them. The fair person's mistake. The average person doubles down. They believe the manipulator's new criteria. Okay, you're right. I'll try harder. I'll achieve Z this time. They get back on the hamster wheel, running even faster, chasing an ever-receding mirage of approval. They are so focused on winning the game that they fail to realize the game itself is rigged. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist recognizes the pattern. They understand that this isn't about achieving a goal. It's about being kept in a state of perpetual submission. The only winning move is to refuse to play. Step 1. Name the pattern. You call out the shift, not with anger, but with calm observation. Last week, the goal was X. We agreed that achieving X would resolve the issue. Now that X is complete, the goal has been changed to Z. I'm noticing a pattern here. Step 2. Refuse to play the new game. You do not accept the new goalposts. I have fulfilled my end of our original agreement. The discussion about X is now closed. I am not going to be chasing a moving target. The goal was Y, and Y has been achieved. Step 3. Shift the focus to their behavior. You turn the spotlight back on them. It seems that no matter what I accomplish, it will not be enough. This suggests the issue isn't with my performance, but with something else entirely. This move is incredibly powerful. You are refusing to be judged. You are becoming the analyst. You are stepping off the battlefield and moving into the observer's tower. This will often provoke a strong reaction from the manipulator. They may get angry or play the victim because you have just exposed their game. Stand firm. Machiavelli understood the importance of securing a victory. When a territory is conquered, you must solidify your rule. You don't immediately go chasing a new conquest. When you achieve the agreed-upon goal, that is a conquered territory. Do not allow the enemy to just declare that it doesn't count and send you off to fight another battle. Solidify your victory. Acknowledge your achievement to yourself and refuse to let them diminish it. The person who controls the definition of success controls the entire game. Stop letting them be the sole arbiter of your worth. Weapon number 6. The Shadow Army, Triangulation. This is a cowardly but highly effective tactic where the manipulator brings an imaginary or real third party into your conflict to overwhelm you and invalidate your feelings. The anatomy of the attack. You are in a one-on-one disagreement with the manipulator. You are making a valid point. Just when they are losing the argument, they deploy their shadow army. They will use vague, unverifiable claims like, "Everyone thinks you're being unreasonable about this. I was talking to a few people, and they all agree with me. Even my mother said that you're too sensitive." Suddenly, you are no longer in an argument with one person. You are in an argument with an entire, invisible crowd that unanimously finds you at fault. The psychological mechanism. This tactic plays on our deep-seated fear of social isolation. The thought that everyone is against us is terrifying. It makes you question your own judgment. If everyone thinks I'm wrong, maybe I am. It creates an illusion of social consensus, making the manipulator's position seem like the objective truth and your position seem like a crazy outlier. It is an incredibly effective way to shut down dissent without having to win on the merits of the argument. The fair person's mistake. The average person immediately becomes defensive and tries to fight the shadow army. Who is everyone? Tell me who said that. What did they say, exactly? You start trying to defend yourself to a faceless jury. This is a battle you can never win, because the army is a phantom. The manipulator can make them say whatever they want. You become distracted from the original point and get bogged down in a secondary argument about who said what. The manipulator has successfully changed the subject and put you on the defensive. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist knows that the shadow army is an illusion. You do not fight illusions. You dismiss them. Step 1. Recognize the tactic. The moment you hear words like everyone, people are saying, or the introduction of a third party who isn't present, you identify the triangulation play. Step 2. Refuse to engage with the third party. You bring the focus back, with ruthless precision, to the two people actually in the room, you and the manipulator. Use powerful, dismissive phrases like, "I'm not concerned with everyone. I'm talking to you." We can't have a productive conversation based on hearsay. Let's focus on your opinion and my opinion. I'm not going to discuss what unnamed people may or may not have said. This is between us. Step 3. Expose the tactic, advanced move. If you feel particularly strong, you can calmly expose the manipulator's cowardice. It seems you are not confident enough to make this argument on your own, so you are bringing in the opinions of others. Let's stick to what you think. This completely deflates their power. You have shown them that you see their move, you are not intimidated by it, and you will not be distracted by it. You have refused to fight their ghosts. As Machiavelli would argue, a prince deals with the tangible threats he can see. He does not waste resources fighting rumors or shadows. He knows that such things are often a distraction deployed by a weaker enemy. By refusing to acknowledge the shadow army, you force your opponent to stand on their own, without their imaginary reinforcements. And very often, you will find they have nothing to stand on. Weapon number 7. The unstable throne. You've changed. This is the manipulator's last line of defense against your growth. It is the weapon they deploy when they feel you are slipping from their control. It is an attempt to punish your evolution and drag you back to the person you used to be, the person who was easier for them to manage. The anatomy of the attack. You start setting boundaries. You start saying no. You start prioritizing your own goals. You become less available, less compliant, less predictable. You are growing. You are becoming stronger. The manipulator senses this shift. It terrifies them. They will not celebrate your growth. They will frame it as a betrayal. They will hit you with the 4 most poisonous words in the manipulator's lexicon. You've changed. It is not delivered as a compliment. It is delivered with a tone of sadness, disappointment, and accusation. The subtext is clear. You used to be so nice. You used to be so easygoing. I liked the old you better. Translation: I liked the weaker you, the you I could control, better. The psychological mechanism. This attack preys on your need for consistency and your loyalty to past versions of yourself. It makes you feel guilty for your own growth. It creates a narrative where your self-improvement is a selfish act that is hurting others. It taps into the fear that in becoming stronger, you are becoming a worse person, less kind, less caring, less good. The fair person's mistake. The average person hears you've changed and immediately panics. They feel a rush of guilt and self-doubt. They start defending their growth. No, I haven't. I'm still the same person. Or worse, they start to backtrack. They soften their boundaries. They start saying yes again. They try to prove that they are still the nice person they used to be. They have abandoned their throne and run back to their cell, just because the jailer looked sad. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist hears you've changed and recognizes it as the highest form of compliment. It is undeniable proof that their strategy is working. It is the sound of a manipulator realizing their strings have been cut. The response is not defense. It is agreement. Step 1. Receive their accusation as a compliment. Hear the words, but reinterpret the meaning. They are saying you are no longer as easy for me to control. Thank you for noticing. Step 2. Agree and amplify. You do not apologize. You do not explain. You own your evolution. Them, you've changed. You, with a calm, confident smile, thank you. I'm glad you noticed. I've been working on it. Or even more powerfully, I would hope so. Growth is the point. This response is a psychological atom bomb. You have taken their greatest weapon, their accusation of your change, and you have transformed it into a statement of your victory. You have agreed with them, leaving them with absolutely nothing to argue against. You have celebrated what they intended as a criticism. You have shown them, in no uncertain terms, that the old you is gone and is never coming back. As Machiavelli wrote, a prince must be able to adapt his nature to the times. To remain static is to become obsolete and vulnerable. Growth is not a betrayal, it is a strategic necessity. Anyone who punishes your growth is not an ally. They are a saboteur. Anyone who prefers the weaker version of you is an enemy to your potential. Treat them as such. Embrace your evolution. And when they mourn the passing of the person you used to be, let them. You have a future to build. Phase 4. The vision of transformation and identity choice. You have now seen behind the curtain. You have been given the playbook for a war you didn't even know you were fighting. The guilt trips, the silence, the victimhood, the gaslighting, the shifting goalposts, the shadow armies, the punishment of your growth. These are not random acts of difficult people. They are the calculated tactics of emotional warfare. You now stand at a crossroads, a defining moment in your life. You can continue to be the emotional marionette. You can spend the rest of your days walking on eggshells, constantly trying to manage the unmanageable feelings of others. You can live in that confusing fog, second-guessing your own sanity, apologizing for your own strength, and feeling that slow, draining exhaustion of a soul perpetually on the defensive. Or you can cut the strings. You can choose to step into a new reality, a reality of cold, calm clarity. You can become the person who sees the game, understands the moves, and refuses to be a pawn. A person who is not a slave to their emotions, and certainly not to the emotions of others. A person who moves through the world with an unshakable core, whose peace cannot be stolen, whose mind cannot be colonized. Most people will live and die inside this emotional matrix, never even realizing it exists. They will call your new clarity coldness. They will call your boundaries cruelty. They need to believe this, because the alternative, that they themselves are puppets, is a truth too terrifying to contemplate. But you are still here. You have faced these dark truths. That means you are not most people. You are ready. Phase 5. The concluding reinforcement and call to action. This knowledge is not about becoming a manipulator yourself. It is about becoming immune to manipulation. It is not about learning to control others. It is about ensuring that no one can ever control you again. It is the ultimate act of self-defense in a world that plays with emotions. If this video has armed you with a new understanding, then demonstrate your resolve. Smash that like button. Share this manual of psychological self-defense with someone who is still fighting this war unarmed. And subscribe to this channel for more advanced strategies in the art of power and self-mastery. Now, for your final declaration of sovereignty, leave this affirmation in the comments below. I am the calm in their storm. Remember, they will come at you with fire, with ice, with tears, with rage. They will throw every emotion they have at the walls of your mind, and they will watch in terror, as nothing they do leaves a single mark. They play with emotions. You play with strategy. Let the games begin.